I mean, I was always a pub crawl type of guy. Like, you know, I never liked to I was kind of very fickle. I never liked to just stick around one bar. I always liked to mix them up. So I never had a local as such, or maybe I had too many locals. It's a big world, and you've got to be able to take inspiration from everywhere you go. When I'm creating something, when I'm getting into something, as much noise and disturbance as possible. There's a lot of walking and running in all my books. Like, I think Skag Boys has loads and loads. And I was thinking about a book like Trainspotting the other day there. When you think about what actually happens in the book, it's just guys walking from Leith to Toll Cross and back down to Leith all the time. They're just walking back and forward, back and forward. I mean, that was kind of my life, basically. And if my writing's anything, it's like, you know, it's a spine, basically, and Leith Walk would be the spine. You know, all the sort of the bits and pieces and tendons and bones and all that would come off that. They say Miami is a kind of a sunny place for shady people, and there is that. You know, I think like in every city, there's a kind of duality here, but the duality is much more visually stark. You can see poverty and wealth very abundantly with your own eyes. It's all about clean lines and bright colours. You know, the sort of the poverty is kind of rendered very, very stark here in a lot of ways. Whenever you've got a vivid colour palette, you always see the contrast more. You haven't caught me unintentionally kind of lynching subconsciously bikini-clad women.
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. A lot of stuff I've written on the Circle line in London where I lived there, just going round and round and round. And the descriptions of people and characters are all based on people on the Circle line. If you're on a train or a bus, you got the luxury of looking out and looking at people around you. Similar if you're walking, you're taking in things, you're taking in what's happening. So I think it's a great thing for a writer not to drive. I don't really take notes. If I make things into stories in my head, they tend to stick. You start to generate a kind of narrative that makes the whole thing stick in your head a bit more. All my life has been kind of from one extreme of sports to the other extreme of drug taking to the other extreme of sports again, and it's always been a feature, basically. And I know a lot of people who are like that, because it's like the last thing you associate people that are on drugs with is sport, but often a lot of people that are kind of, that turn to drugs are very sporty people that are looking for these kind of highs. So there is a kind of interface and a crossover. You know, I've got this book coming out, and to me it's very old now. It feels like a very old book, but to people that are experiencing it, it's a new book. But the thing that's really exciting me is the book I'm working on now. But that means nothing to everybody else. You know, you can't share it with anybody, it's just all your own head. So that's the kind of strange position you find yourself in if you're doing books, or even if you're doing kind of films or TV shows or stage plays. The luckiest thing that I've had is that I've not really had to worry about Red Bulls for 25 years, basically. And you know, how many people can say that? So many writers struggle, they just don't make any money. And I've had the money just to be able to write and get on with it and not really be disturbed, you know. And it's been spoiled to some extent. If you're worried about money and worried about Red Bulls coming in, it's such a debilitating thing. You know, it kind of really knocks the shit out of you, and you feel like you're working for just to pay the next bill. You're going from, you know, you're staggering from crisis to crisis. So I've had that kind of taken away, and that's a great thing to be able to have that kind of ease. We live a short, disappointing life, and then we die. We fill up our lives with shite, things like careers and relationships, to delude ourselves that it all isn't totally pointless. There really is a way out of this, and it's all so simple. You don't have to run away. You just meet somebody special and step sideways into a parallel universe.